Fighting for freedom, liberty, and the restoration of the Constitution. The Patrick Reagan Show. Call in now at 865-243-8255. That's 243-TALK. And now your host, Patrick Riggins.
This is the Patrick Reagan Show. Spinning bumper music courtesy of Tori. All hate mail can go to him.
Thank you. That's the producer being a smart aleck is what they
Yes. But it's good. It's all in good fun.
It's all jokes now, so
Yeah.
I mean it's all done in good humor.
Yes, don't
get
throw
mad.
stones at Tori.
Please, I'm breakable.
He is breakable. So, anyway, let's get to another call here real quick. We've got a couple more on here. We'll see if we can work through them before the end of the show. We'll kind of take them as we got them. Brian in Fountain City. Brian in Fountain City, how you doing today?
I'm doing pretty good. Good to hear your show. And,
Good to have you listening.
And I'll try not to give you an earful like the previous caller.
I just kind of punched her button there a little bit. But hey, that's what we want to do. We want people thinking and not just accepting.
It may be that I punch you at this point, but earlier in the show you played one of the questions, and I guess it was a young college student wondering about what the government could do for him.
Sure.
And reassure him that there would be some sort of good-paying job, and what about his parents. They probably don't have to crash at his parents' house till he's 30.
Yeah.
But I actually thought about that, and there is one thing. I mean, it's so dead obvious, and no one ever wants to talk about it. And that would be for me to abolish NAFTA.
Yeah.
Because that was absolutely devastating to the Tennessee Valley. I mean, Levi's, Panasonic, Magnavox, Palm Beach, Dan River, just to name some off the top of my head. There's hardly any manufacturing here, and not like it used to be.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, now it has to be, I need so much education to go sit in a cubicle and, sit there and push pixels around on a screen.
Yeah.
And used to, you could, straight out of high school, a person, male or female, could get a decent paying job, work their way through the ranks, and, they could actually make enough money, and with longevity at a company, get bank loans, for a house or a car. They could raise their children and not even really ever have to go to college for, that uber education that we all, seem to value above all other things. And we've outsourced so much of our manufacturing, and it's basically cheap stuff that we have to replace a lot more often than the stuff that used to be made here in the States.
Well, let me ask, what is the answer for that then?
Abolish NAFTA. Abolish NAFTA. And it's, put this on a level playing field. I mean, there's one particular big box store that you mentioned earlier has factories in China, and those people are making goods and doing their thing at 17 cents an hour, staying in a dormitory that has nets on it so they don't jump out the window to commit suicide. And 60% of that big box here in the States, 60% of the workforce is on some sort of public assistance. And, that's, we're paying for that.
True.
You and I are paying for that. We're supplementing.
So if we get rid of that and we have free, but we just have trade, I mean, the problem is
when trade and we put tariffs on things, so so those countries have to compete with, a better product, not just a cheaper product. If it's better, I mean, come on, man. A Porsche is probably better than a Ford Focus, and we'll pay that extra money for a Porsche or a Maserati or some such as that. Mercedes-Benz, just to name a few of the, foreign goods. But, you can't convince me that one of those coffee makers that's liable to leak all over the place is, better than a good old-fashioned American percolator. I mean,
Well, but you understand this. Just you get economies of scale when you're mass producing, and
we've outsourced so much. And I mean, what will our population do if we continue on this road? If we don't have American manufacturing and people making things to sell here and overseas, and we outsource everything, we're all going to be working for a big box retailer on public assistance.
Well, if we have, say, like steel coming in, and we say, okay, we're going to put this tariff on steel, well, that raises the price for everything for everybody. So the person making minimum wage or a little above all of a sudden can't afford a vehicle that they could have afforded before. Correct?
That could be correct.
Well, that's what happens.
It might be that we have an American manufacturer like O. Henry Ford that wanted to make his stuff to where everyone could afford it.
And that's the key. Yeah. Now, that's the key right there, is because when you have government coming in and saying you have to do this and you have to do that, that's what's going to start driving our costs up and driving people overseas where they don't have to deal with that. If we drop that...
we get stuff, and like I say, we get stuff that is messing us up in more ways than one.
Well, yeah, we got toys with lead in them.
Absolutely. Got toys with lead, sheetrock. I mean, just everything is done in a country that really doesn't care.
All right, Brian, I'm going to let you go. We're coming up on the end of the show here. I appreciate the call. And everyone else online, I wish I could have got to you. I've got about a minute and a half left here. But I think what we come down to, this is just pretty much across the board. It's government. Government is the problem there. When we have government involved, they just screw things up. Every time. We joke about it. We kid about it. Boy, I hope the government doesn't get involved because they'll, everything will be double the price it should be. But when it comes down to it, it's getting less funny as we go through life here, I guess. As we move along, the government's spending more of our money, it's screwing more stuff up, and we just keep getting more of it. That's the problem we're starting to run up on, and that's the problem this show hopefully will help fix. Anyway, we're up on the show. This is Patrick Riggins. Thank you so much for everybody calling in and all the callers we've had and everybody listening. I really appreciate you guys out there. Cindy in Morristown, keep listening. Keep listening to me. Tell others to listen. Appreciate you having you on. If you want more information, go to facebook.com/Patrick Riggins Show. Hit that like button there. Twitter, we're at Patrick Riggins. Also, you can go to YouTube at youtube.com/Patrick Riggins Show. That's RIGGINS Show. And you can get all the old shows, and then they'll have this show up here in a day or two, minus all the commercials and music Tori plays. So, and if you also want to get hold of us, good old-fashioned email, patrickrigginshow@gmail.com. Join me next Sunday afternoon. Well, once again, we'll talk about freedom, liberty, and the restoration of the Constitution. This is Patrick Riggins. We'll see you next Sunday. Have a great week.
Join us again next week for a solid dose of truth on the Patrick Riggins Show. Every Sunday from 2 to 3 p.m. Be there.